it's like part 3 of answer the question. So please, we'll do a better job of staying up on these things. We're having to do them from the home office because we couldn't even get in the boat and do it. But please tell me we got some good questions, producer dude.
We've got questions.
You're not classifying them as good though.
I'll let you make that determination.
I'm slightly scared, but let's do it.
Mike Hill wants to know what size Dakota you are using during the Dipsy Diver videos we've shot.
What size Dakota? I'm using the 500 for pretty much everything. I mean, for 20 years, whenever they came out, 17, 18 years ago, I've been using the 500 size. The reason is when you get to some of the smaller sizes, the spools in the past were narrower, or they become quite a bit smaller, and then that line is just tighter wound, and your drag washers are going to be smaller. So that 500 is kind of that nice little mixing point for me where I get the best advantage of having that bigger spool, so the line's going to come off better and just lay better, and I'm going to have bigger drag washers, but yet it's not so big that I can't mess with it. And if you've seen the new Dakotas that just came out there about a year or so ago, they're basically kind of like a really dark blue, almost purplish looking. They're even more compact with that same decent size spool. So 500 Dakota by Shimano is the deal for me.
Okay. And then Mike also followed up last week. He wants to know what rod you're using in that video. We got,
I don't know what video it is for sure, but we've got 2 different rods that I'm using for 99% of my stuff, and it's their Shimano Compres. They're both 8 foot 3 inches. One of them is an MMD, and it's more moderate, so it's going to be basically softer. So we're using that for our spinner fishing. We're using that for our dead sticks. We're using that for our braided line, where we're using that regular 8 foot 3 that you've seen for the last 3 years or so in our crankbaits and just general all around stuff.
Okay, Brad G wants to know how long the screws are when you're putting in your Bert's custom tackle track.
That depends on what you got going on. So I actually use different links on the port and the starboard just because I know where the rigging tubes are at. So it's really going to depend on what you got going on. So you're going to want to basically take access panels apart and see, how deep you have, drill a really small pilot hole to make sure you're not going to drill into something. There's stuff generally encased in those boat holes. So you're going to want to check it out. I can't tell you exactly on your boat. I've got protrusion in my Ranger. And so in some of those, I may only take 3/4 of an inch, and other ones that's inch or inch and a quarter, just based on where it's at, because you can't screw into stuff. It makes a really big problem.
All right.
Through boat where possible. Through boat where possible. Installing tracks.
Don Gann wants to know what kind of clips you're using on your planer boards.
I use a lot of different clips. So I run, actually, if you really pay close attention, I use 3 different sets of boards based on what I'm doing. If we're fishing fast, if we're fishing in cold water, if we're fishing spinners and cranks, I kind of got little custom setups. It's just like a jigging rod. You wouldn't use one rod to do everything from 16th ounce jigs to 3/4. And I kind of do the same thing with my boards. So I use multiple different brands depending on what I'm doing. So there's not a good answer for that.
Okay. Polly wants to know about the micro remote. Does it do the auto stow and deploy?
The micro remote, to my knowledge, does not. Not that I've ever seen. You're going to have the regular size remote, or you can do it off the pedal. And then, as we talked about in one of our other things, if you have them all linked together via the Minn Kota and Humminbird iLink system, you can actually do it off your Humminbird graph.
Okay. Bobby Abbott wants to know, and I saw this come in before.
Oh boy.
He was a little rude, if I remember right.
Was he now? Bobby, Bobby, I'll scold you. This ain't no keyboard commando deal. I'll come get you, son.
I believe he might have called you a schmuck, if I remember
right. Schmuck. Ooh, so Bobby, you're tough on
walleye. When you catch a walleye, why don't you show the lure you're using?
Did he really? I need to know. Did he really call me a schmuck?
I'm gonna look him up here. If I remember.
We don't reward dill holes, just so you know. If you keyboard commandos, I see you in somewhere, and I see that.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. He did not call you a schmuck. He called you a chump.
Ooh, same thing. Whatever. You're a dingo.
He said you purposely stood in front of the camera so you could not see it.
I did. Well, so here's the deal. You are kind of a jackass, just so you know. But I'm still going to answer it for the other people, not for you. So the reality is, and you know this, producer dude, there's things that I have to hide and put away because they're not on the market yet. We do a lot of testing of products, and obviously when we're out filming and it's just me and producer dude, it's a great time to see, is that going to catch them? And I can't use things in front of guide clients. You know, there's things like motors and electronics even, and even stuff on my Ranger boat that we can't show everybody. So there are lures that are coming out a year or 2 years from now that I have, and we're testing them so we can make sure that they're dialed in for you guys. And I can't put that on camera or I get in deep duty. So that is the real answer. But dude, you might want to ease up if you want us to ask your questions again and not be such a ding dong.
I'd say he's pretty accurate, though, that you're a chump. So.
Dude, producer dude, I'm going to put you both in a room and we're going to have a celebrity boxing. You're going to see who's going to come out of that. And I got news for you. It's going to be the ginger.
One more from Mike Hill. He's really wants to know the dip stuff about dipsies. He wants to know, will the medium moderate compre handle dipsy fishing?
I'm not going to tell you can't fish dipsies on it, but I would tell you that that's not a rod you want to use for that. You're going to want something that's probably has, you know, most dipsy rods are going to be more composite. They're going to make it a little more durable. You don't need to spend quite as much money on that. There's a lot of different things out there. A lot of guys use like the Shimano Toloras, for example. They're going to be able to take a little more of a beating, and that moderate probably doesn't have enough power, in my opinion, to fish like a number one dipsy. If assuming we're talking about a full size number one dipsy, well, you're going to want a little more oof.
All right. A couple people saw you at the boat show, and so we're going to get a little lovey here. Yep. So Dappleby, something like that, said he caught your seminar. He said mostly the seminars are very basic. Yours was at a different level. And thanks for the swag.
Ooh, thank you. See, yeah. Hey, there you go. Thanks for stopping by. We are out there doing things outside of our channel, of course, and appreciate the nice feedback. Good to hear.
And they also asked about what model compre rod you're using. I think you already mentioned that earlier in the video.
We did. Yep. 8'3". There's moderate and a regular one. I use them both.
And then also Bull Durham also met you at the Cleveland Boat Show.
Bull Durham. That sounds like it makes me think of like the Cleveland. What was that movie?
Bull Durham.
No, but wasn't it
Major League?
Major League. That's what I thought of.
But there is the
a Bull Durham. I know. Wasn't it Kevin Costner?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, the Charlie Sheen was what you know my 12-year-old mind where it goes. But anyway,
well, I'm a Cleveland guy too, so I agree. Right. So he again, he's thanking you for great tips from the Cleveland Boat Show and helping him understand marking fish at speed better. He did ask you an asshole question about lure color.
You know, I think I actually knew who that was, because then the guy was joking, because I had a microphone and I went at him and he was like, I'm just joking. I watch your stuff.
Yeah, that's what he said. He joked with you. So
yeah, some of those guys at the seminar were like, oh my God, he's really going to attack us. I'm like, yeah, I have a microphone. You don't. It's crazy.
So so anyways, he thanks you for the Cleveland Boat Show as well. So I just wanted to pass.
Great to hear. Producer dude, I'm again, this is a little too lovey, but there was a lot of people that came up to me and thanked us for what we're doing. They specifically named producer dude. Is he here? And I said, no, he's not big time enough.
I don't get invited.
No. And then and they, of course, Country Steve. But I kind of, I thought about this. I was like, I would look even bigger time if I had you following him around with all kinds of fancy camera gear. Maybe we should look into this.
I wanted to do that a couple years ago. You told me you didn't have time for me.
I think that I'm calling bullshit, but you really?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that at a sports show?
I would do that at a sports show. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about next year at the Cleveland show?
We'll do it. It's a date.
I like it.
Because I would like to sign some autographs.
I'm being serious. There was more than 10 people asked about Country Steve and producer dude.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think after that we got to go.
you want to go out on not talking about you passing out in the boat?
No, I want to go out on a high note.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the questions. We're going to do a little better job of getting them in a timely fashion here. Now we're back in the boat and back in boat mode. This was like round 3. So ask away, put those things on there. Thanks for following us on all of our channels on not only YouTube, but at Bigwater Fishing, on our podcast at Spotify, Google, Apple, Stitcher. I hit them all. Don't even need producer dude anymore.